missiles, but also the judgment that fell upon our people, man. The judgment that fell upon our people, the reason why we're in Babylon in the first place. We were brought here into Babylon.
Yeah, you gotta get it, man.
We were brought here in Babylon to serve hardcore bondage and slavery, man. Okay? Did the Chinese ever go through this? Did the Japanese? Did the East Indians? Did, give me some more heathens. The Arabs? Okay, the East Africans, the Ethiopians, did they go through this? The Samoans, the Polynesians? Did they go through this? The Sudanese people? No, it happened to us, the so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, the chosen children, the chosen people, the children of Israel, man. From Judah on down to Issachar. And the Most High is going to bring that judgment back unto who? The so-called white man. All right? That's how it works. This is how it goes down. That's how the Most High gets down. He sets one kingdom up to bring it down, to set up a new. All right? Hope shall give me that in Daniel. You got something?
Precept in 2 Peter 3 and 13. Nevertheless,
Tony Stark is back. Keep going.
So nevertheless, we, according to his promise, look for a new heavens and a new earth wherein dwelleth righteousness.
Yeah, we look for a new heaven and a new earth wherein dwelleth righteousness. There's no righteousness here on this earth. There's no righteousness here. Why do you think you had to pay taxes? I thought America revolted against taxes. I thought America revolted against taxes during the Tea Party.
Yep, the Boston Tea Party.
The Boston Tea Party. That was the whole getting away from Britain. Okay, was because of taxes. Yeah, here it is. You get taxed out the ass, man. It's good on that, right?
I got Isaiah chapter 10 and 1.
Going to the basis of man.
Woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees.
Woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees. America, more specifically, even San Francisco, the city that we're in. There's nothing but unrighteous decrees here. There's a big issue here called what? Homelessness. There's another big issue here called what? Drug addiction. Opioid crisis. Oh, they call this place what? A sanctuary city. You go down a few blocks, all you're gonna see is sanctuary city, guys. Sanctuary citizens selling dope to people that are just so downtrodden and through. The majority of them are so-called white people. They're gonna get the drugs and they're gonna do it right in front of your face, man. And yet the cops don't do nothing to those guys. They just put the light on, shoo them off. But hey, if you park your car in the yellow for a little bit, your shit is towed, man. But if you got a tent on the sidewalk, you're shitting and pissing all over the place, you're shooting up heroin in yourself, that's totally fine. Do as thou wilt here in San Francisco, man. This place is full of wickedness. That's why we don't seek to fix America, man. America's not gonna be fixed. America's gonna keep getting worse and worse. Right, you got these turistas, right? These people, these tourists, they come here to check it out, man. They bug out, they leave, they don't want to come back. Like, man, I thought I was gonna see the Golden Gate Bridge. All they seen was drug addiction, homelessness.
Have you seen Sunny Red or Sunny Black?
What was that?
Have you seen Sunny Red or Sunny Black?
What was that?
I'm looking for Sunny Red or Sunny Black. Donnie Brasco. Peace out.
All right, this guy did a little. All right, man, you're a smart guy. You're a real smart guy. What is ukulele? Go ahead.
It says, in that right grievousness which they have prescribed.
And that's going into all their wicked laws, all their unrighteous permitting you have to get. Everything is set up contrary to how the Most High works, you know? I'll show you.
Isaiah 10 and 1. Woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees.
And woe unto them. So destruction unto them, you know? All this wickedness that they prescribe, all these so-called laws, they're going to be killed because of it.
In that right grievousness which they have prescribed.
And you know, because of these laws, because of everything contrary to the Most High, people are mourning. You know, people are not thriving, I should say.
And the scriptures also go into how, you know, pretty much Esau, you know, he's kept people back by fraud. going into how this whole entire system that's set up in America, you know, the whole financial system is set up to put you in debt, so you can be a prisoner unto, you know, these Edomites, the so-called white men. So they set it up to where you're in debt, all right, you're in miry clay. Also, you can be subjection to payments unto Esau. And then Esau, he can come into there and be like, okay, you didn't pay this, well, I can take your car. I can, pretty much, Esau can make your life a living hell, all right? So, this is Proverbs chapter 29 and 2. When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. But when the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn. Yep. So when the wicked, I'm gonna read that again. Proverbs 29 and 2. When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. So when the righteous are in authority, the people are rejoicing. But obviously, by the state of the world, by the state of America, all right, the righteous are not in rulership. All right. In fact, the exact opposite is in rulership. They tell you that in Job 9 and 24.
This is Job 9, and this goes to show you who's in power, who the actual wicked is, because who runs the world, you know? This is Job 9 and 24. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covered the faces of the judges thereof, if not, where and who is he? So going into the so-called white man, you know, painting images, basically getting rid of the old rulership, you know, during the Renaissance period, because who was in rulership in the Dark Ages? You know, the so-called Dark Ages. That was Jake, you know, and everything was way better than back then than it was now, and we were still going on, you know.
It says, but when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. But when the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn. And that's all you seeing right now is people mourning, man. All right, people strung out on drugs, laid out in the streets. That's because the wicked are bearing rule. So in due season, the Lord is going to set up one that's profitable unto the earth. Could you get that Bible Shah? I believe it's in either Sirach or the Wisdom of Solomon. So we're living in that time of a transitioning period where the Lord is going to destroy the current rulership and destroy the people that are ruling, which are the so-called white men, all right, and set up the nation of Israel. And that's why the Lord has his prophets out here, or he's raising up the tabernacle of David, which are going to be the first governing body of the next kingdom to come on the earth.
Yeah, this is Sirach 10 and 4. The power of the earth is in the hand of the Lord, and in due time he will set over it one that is profitable.
Yep, in due time. And we're living in that time where the Most High, he's doing it now. That's why this kingdom, man, the earth is at the worst state that it's ever been. All right? And pretty much America is on its last leg, man.
And it's like in the so-called white man, he's been profitable to the Most High to show us what true wickedness is, to show everyone what true wickedness is. That's why he's going to do away with them, you know? Continuing on, this is verse 5. In the hand of the Most High is the prosperity of man, and upon the person of the scribe shall he lay his honor. Bear not hatred to thy neighbor for every wrong, and do nothing at all by injurious practices. I'm going to jump down to verse 8. This is the point. Because of unrighteous dealings, injuries, and riches got by deceit, the kingdom is translated from one people to another.
Read that again, Bible Shah.
Sirach 10 and 8, because of unrighteous dealings.
Yep, unrighteous dealings are all these treaties that Esau have signed, or he went back on it, man. That's unrighteous dealings, man. Going all the way back to the tribe of Gad, the so-called Native Americans, how many, what are those called? With like treaties he made with them?
Yeah.
Peace treaties. And then he went back and then pretty much he faulted on all those treaties, man.
It says, because of unrighteous dealings.
Yep, unrighteous dealings, man.
Injuries and riches got by deceit.
Yep, riches got by deceit, and that's going into how Esau set up a whole entire infrastructure based on to put you in debt, all right, and have you keep being in that rat race. Okay, I gotta pay tuition. I gotta get out of I gotta pay my student loans. All right, Esau, he makes more money when you're in debt. All right. And that's unrighteous dealings right there.
Got it. Yeah, and then the whole slave trade, you know, that's how he funded this so-called country, and that was unrighteous slavery. This is the kingdom, and riches got by deceit. The kingdom is translated from one people to another.
Yep, and that's why we're living in that translation period where America is going to be destroyed by 200 million thermonuclear missiles, all right, and other parts of the world are going to get hit. But then in the midst of World War III, Yahushua is going to come back with the holy angels to deliver the elect, which the elect are the first governing bodies of the next kingdom to come on the earth, all right? So yeah, that's it on that one. So we're living in that transition period. This is Psalms chapter 73 and 8. They are corrupt and speak wickedly concerning oppression. They speak loftily. They set their mouth against the heavens and their tongue walketh through the earth. All right, so you want to break that down? All right, so pretty much, you know, that's going into the so-called white man, Esau, all right? Because throughout all the stuff that he did in the earth, he doesn't feel the need that he should be paid back for his wickedness, man. All right? He doesn't believe that he's going to be destroyed or that he feels like it's just. That's why he's going to fight to try to keep his kingdom. Because you get Revelation 12 and 12. Esau's going to fight tooth and nail to try to hold on into his kingdom, man. All right? Oh, you got it. Yep.
So this is Numbers 35 and 33. So you shall not pollute the land wherein you are, for blood it defileth the land, and the land cannot be cleansed of the blood that is shed therein, but by the blood of him that shed it.
Yep, so America can't be cleansed except for by the blood of the so-called white man. And that's why the Lord is setting up that great sacrifice, which is going to be done by way of those nuclear missiles. All right, America is going to be the lake of fire, and that's going to be the sacrifice. That's going to be the atonement. All right, those nuclear missiles is going to make up for all the bloodshed here in America. All right, the blood of the Israelites, the so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans. You got any more precepts?
Revelation 12 and 12. Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them.
So Esau is going to try to fight to keep his kingdom. Even though it's prophesied that he's going to go down, even though the Lord, Yahweh Shema Shai, all right, is using his prophets to let you know that you're not going to be able to succeed in your New World Order plan, yet he's still going to try to go out fighting.
Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time.
So Esau, he knows he got to put a short time. All right, and that's why he's scrambling right now to try to shut down the internet. All right, he's scrambling right now to try to make unrighteous decrees to make it to where you can't have free speech. Because really, he's trying to block this truth out, all right? Because this truth is spread throughout the four corners of the earth. You got camps everywhere by way of this truth. Because you get Matthew 24 and 14. All right, and part of the incoming is Esau coming down with great wrath. That's going to be his last hoorah before America be destroyed.
This is Matthew 24 and 14. And this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations, and then shall the end come.
Yep, and this prophecy is being fulfilled as we speak. All right, read that again, Baba.
Yes, this is Matthew 24 and 14. And this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations, and then shall the end come.
So that the word is being preached, and the Lord, he has set up the internet to do all the heavy lifting. All right, so that's why you got camps all over the world. You got camps in Australia, you got camps in
Kenya.
Yep. You got camps in West Africa. You got camps in Southern America. You got camps
Europe,
in
London.
All right, and what's that place up there? Canada. All right, Alaska. So you know this is all a fulfillment of biblical prophecy. And what's next to come? The end, the destruction, judgment. All right, that bloodshed, that great sacrifice that needs to be made. All right. Which is the destruction of America and those people that are left therein. You got another precept there?
Revelation 7 and 1. And after these things, I saw four angels standing on the four corners of the earth, holding the four winds of the earth.
So right now, the angels, they're holding back the winds of destruction. They're holding back that nuclear destruction, all right? They're holding it back because of...
that the wind should not blow on the earth, nor on the sea, nor on any tree. And I saw another angel ascending from the east, having the seal of the living power. And he cried with a loud voice to the four angels to whom it was given to hurt the earth and the sea, saying, hurt not the earth, neither the sea, nor the trees, till we have sealed the servants of our power in their foreheads.
Yep. So really, America is supposed to already have been destroyed. But the Lord, he has set forth his angels to hold back the destruction, all right, to keep it back until the elect be sealed. And that's the purpose of this word going out through the four corners of the earth, so the elect can be sealed with the knowledge, wisdom, and the faith of Yahweh Shema Shai.
This is Ezekiel 9:4. And the Lord Yahweh Shem Yahushai said unto him, go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and that cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof.
Yep, and Jerusalem is a people before it's a place. All right, so the Lord, he told the angel to go out through the mist and find my elect pretty much and seal them, all right, with that mark going into the Hebrew word Thawah, meaning exemption from judgment. All right, so could you give me Baba Kashal Revelations, the 18th chapter? All right, so the elect, they're going to be delivered from that nuclear destruction, all right?
And, and it says, set a mark upon those that are sighing and crying. Who else is sighing and crying? Who else is bringing the abominations to the forefront and showing what Esau, the Edomite, the so-called white man, has done and is still doing to this day, you know?
Yep, because right, we just pull out the scripture, the wicked is bearing rule. And the people are mourning, all right? Everybody's mourning, yet only the elect are the only ones that are crying out to the Heavenly Father to bring that justice.
This is back in Ezekiel 9:4. And the Lord said unto him, go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and that cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof.
So the elect, they're being sealed right now, if not already. Got it.
It says, and to the others he said, in mine hearing, go you after him through the city and smite. Let not your eyes spare, neither have ye pity.
So what's next after the word goes out and the elect are sealed with the knowledge, wisdom, and the faith of Yahweh Shema Shai, the very next thing is going to be the judgment. All right? And 2/3 of Israel, 2/3 of you so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, all right, that don't want to come back right now, the gates of repentance is going to close, all right? And you're not going to be able to get that exemption from judgment.
It says, slay utterly old and young, both maids and little children, and women, but come not near any man upon whom is the mark, and begin at my sanctuary. Then they began at the ancient men which were before the house.
Yep. So what's going to happen now is, you know, because everything is reincarnated, or nothing is new under the sun, and the scriptures, they're written for our learning, all right? What's going to happen now is through the Spirit that judgment is going to go out. And men, women, children, all right, old, young, babies are going to be put to death in the time period that we're living in, all right? They're going to starve to death. They're going to be shot down by the martial law troops. They're going to be thrown in FEMA camps and tortured.
Babies are going to be eaten by their own mothers.
All these different things are going to come upon the earth as a judgment for this wicked society, man, for living in wickedness. All right, we got that in. Got it.
Revelation 18:1. And after these things, I saw another angel come down from heaven, having great power, and the earth was lightened with his glory. And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the Great is fallen, and is become the habitation of devils, and the hold of every foul spirit, and the cage of every unclean and hateful bird.
So that's what's going to happen to America. America is going to be destroyed with 200 million nuclear missiles. And the only ones that are going to escape that are going to be the elect by way of the holy, the chariots, being beamed up in the chariots, all right, when Yahushua comes back. But America is going to be a wasteland, man. This place is not going to be inhabitable anymore. It's not going to be fruitful. The soil is not going to be fruitful. It's just going to be a barren wasteland after those missiles hit.
For all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of fornication.
Yep, and that's why these nations are going to shoot their missiles on America. All right, because they have taken on the customs of the so-called white man. All right, and now they figured out that the ways of the so-called white man is not profitable unto them. All right, and the ways of Esau it leads unto death. So now they figure out what manner of person the so-called white man is, and now these nations they figured out that Esau is the enemy. So what are they going to do? They're going to link up. All right, Kim Jong-un. All right, and Putin. All right, and many more of these different nations are going to gather around about America and shoot their nuclear missiles on America. Got it.
And the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies.
And America is that chief place, or well, pretty much America is a corporation. Like the Elder Gad was going into how these other heathens, they come here to capitalize off the nation of Israel. Pretty much, they set up businesses. All right, because this place is nothing but a corporation. So this is talking about America. And you can hold off on that one. You got a minute to say that.
It says Isaiah 14 and 21, prepare slaughter for his children for the iniquity of their fathers, that they do not rise nor possess the land, nor fill the face of the world with the cities.
Yep, so the Most High is going to bring the judgment upon America and also upon the people that established America, this wicked place. You so-called white people, right? And it says prepare slaughter, all right? So the only way you could be, the nation of Israel could be repaid back is by putting you so-called white people into slavery. It says that they do not rise nor possess the land. So pretty much, Esau, you're not going to be able to have free course in the earth no more. You're not going to be able to set up your own kingdom or your own cities. Because every time you do that, it's going to be nothing but wickedness dwelling in it. Tell you that Malachi, the first chapter, it says, and they shall be called the border of wickedness. So everywhere you so-called white people set up is nothing but abominations, man.
It says, verse 22, for I will rise up against them, saith the Lord of hosts, and cut off from Babylon the name, and remnant, and son, and nephew, saith the Lord.
And how's the Lord going to do that? By way of those nuclear missiles. All right, the Lord is going to cut this place off. After America is destroyed, all right, the kingdom of heaven is going to be established on earth by way of the nation of Israel, which are the so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Indians, are being ruled by Yahweh Shai. All right, the kingdom of heaven is going to be established. America is no longer going to be thought of, man. All right, you're not going to be able to remember the name of this place. All right, it's going to be known as Babylon, man, the place of confusion. You got another precept?
I got one.
Revelation 13 and 9. If any man have an ear, let him hear. He that leadeth to the captivity shall go into captivity.
So after America gets nuked, the kingdom of heaven be established, all right, the elect come down out of those chariots, they're going to put the so-called white man into slavery. And not only them, Moab, all right, Ishmael, these other different heathen nations are going to go in slavery too. They all had a hand in the downfall of the nation of Israel, all right?
He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword.
Yeah, chiefly Esau, the so-called white man, all right? Because your blessing was the sword. And the modern day sword is the gun, all right? And you went out throughout the whole earth conquering the nation of Israel pretty much, all right? So you killed by the sword, so guess what?
Here is the patience in the faith of the saints.
Yep, so here's the patience and the faith of the saints, all right? Because the saints are going to be the ones that are going to put the so-called white man in the shackles, all right? The saints, that's talking about the elect. Those that are prophesying now, that got this knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, all right, and putting it to use.
It says, this is Obadiah, and I'll start at verse 9. And thy mighty men, O Teman, shall be dismayed to the end that every one of the mount of Esau may be cut off by slaughter. For thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever.
Yep, the so-called white man had a perpetual hatred for the so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans. And they still have that perpetual hatred. That's why the race riots are brewing up right now. Because that perpetual hatred never went away, all right? But guess what? The Lord, the difference between Esau and Jacob, the Lord is dealing with the nation of Israel. That's the apple of the Lord's eye, starting off with the elect, all right? You can get that in Romans the 9th chapter where it says, you know, Esau have I hated, but Jacob have I loved. So because Esau has had that perpetual hatred, the Lord is going to bring judgment. He's going to destroy Esau, man. Double unto them what they've done unto us. Because if it was up to you so-called white people, all the nation of Israel will be exterminated, all right? But the Lord, he has left the remnant.
Romans 9 and 11. For the children being not born yet, neither having done any good or evil, that the purpose of the Most High according to election might stand, not of works, but of him that calleth. It was said unto her, the elder shall serve the younger.
Yep, so when Esau came out, he was the first one to come out. But holding on his heel was his brother Jacob, which represents Esau's kingdom will be established, but then it will be destroyed. And right after that will be Jacob's kingdom, which is the kingdom of heaven.
As it is written, Jacob have I loved, but Esau have I hated.
Yep, but the Lord loves Jacob. Even though our people is in a low state, the Lord is going to have mercy on our nation, starting off with the elect, all right? And through the elect, the rest of the 2/3 of Israel is going to be brought back. And then we're going to be a nation of kings and priests, man, all right? So the Lord loved Jacob. He set up the wicked in rulership. He gave the earth into the hand of the wicked in order to show what it will be like when the wicked is in rulership, all right? But now that Esau's hurtful works are done, there's no need for him. All right. Now the Lord is going to set up righteousness because the Lord he delights in righteousness and uprightness. All right.
What shall we say then? Is there a righteousness with the Most High?
Yep. The Most High set it up like that. All right. He created a nation of people to be the wicked, and he created a nation of people to be the righteous. All right.
God forbid. For he saith to Moses, I will have mercy on whom I will have mercy, and I will have compassion on whom I will have compassion.
So that's what it is. The Lord, he created everything. All right. He's going to have compassion on the nation of Israel. All right. That's it, man. You got another person. Could you get Jeremiah 28 and 8? 28 and 8. So the Lord, right now, we're living in that time where this man's kingdom is going down, all right? And after the Lord's words go out, then that destruction is going to come.
Jeremiah 28 and 8. The prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesied both against many countries and against great kingdoms, of war and of evil and of pestilence.
And that's the characteristics of a prophet, which the word prophet or the prophesy means to say before. All right, and the Lord has given his men the words of prophecy. All right, what the Most High is going to do in the near future, and it says that's the characteristic of a prophet. It says the prophesy against many great kingdoms of war, of pestilence. All right, and right now the Lord got his prophets out doing the same exact thing, prophesying against America or these other heathen nations about World War III. All right, about the pending judgments that's about to come. All right, outbreaks, pestilences. All right, famine, diseases. You got it, all right.
This is 2nd Ezra 9. I'll start at the top. He answered me then and said, measure the time diligently in itself.
Yep. How do you measure the time? All right, you link up what's going on in the current world, then you correlate it back to the prophecies in the book.
And you have to be doing that by watching the news. You know, being understanding and observant of what's going on around you, what's going on in the world around you. You know, it says, measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs past, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made.
And we're seeing these prophecies come to pass in real time. All right, and we're coming down to that boiling point where America is about to be totally destroyed. All right, America's going to collapse. Pertaining to what is that? Ecclesiastes 12th chapter, where it says the grinding shall cease. All these stores are shutting down. All right, America's closing up. All right, the Lord is about to close the curtains on America.
It says, verse 3. Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world.
Yep, earthquakes. All you got to do is download the earthquake app. There's earthquakes in diverse places constantly, man. Even today, there's been like 3 earthquakes all around the world. All right.
And the uproars of the people. You know what's going on in France? They're still doing that yellow vest protest.
Yep.
You know, there was another country I forgot, but
Venezuela.
Yeah, Venezuela. You know, all over the world, there's protests going on.
Yep. Even here in America, but that's even going to increase.
It says, verse 4, Then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning.
Yep.
It says, for like as all that is made in the world hath a beginning and an end, and the end is manifest.
Yep, and that word manifest means to be made plain. All right, and now it's evidence that we're in the end of the world because all the things that are written in the scriptures are being played out before our eyes. All right?
Verse 6, even so the times also of the highest have plain beginnings in wonders and powerful works, and endings in effects and signs. And every one that shall be saved and shall be able to escape by his works and by faith, whereby ye have believed.
Yep, and that's the elect. All right, and that's the importance. Well, the scriptures say it pleased the Most High by the foolishness of preaching to save those that believe. All right, so that's why this word is going out like this throughout the four corners to save the elect, so the elect can hear the word, all right, and they can be delivered by their faith and by their own works. All right, which your works going to following and applying, all right, the wisdom and knowledge of Yahweh Shema Shai. All right, serving the Lord with fear and trembling. Yeah,
you know, being a watchman, watching for these signs, and actually pushing it out to the nation of Israel. You know, letting the elect know what's happening. You know, and hopefully waking them up. You know, it says, verse 8, shall be preserved from the said perils, and shall see my salvation in my land and within my borders, for I have sanctified them for me from the beginning.
Yep, shall see the Most High's land. All right, because right after America be destroyed, the kingdom of heaven is going to be established. All right, read that last part again.
Yeah, it says this is 2nd Ezra, chapter 9, verse 8. Shall be preserved from the said perils, and shall see my salvation in my land and
being delivered in those chariots.
In my land and within my borders, for I have sanctified them for me from the beginning.
Yep, so the elect were sanctified from the beginning. All right, since the earth was created, the Most High set apart his elect. And he said, and the Most High pretty much said, in the end times, these same spirits from the beginning that I sanctified to be delivered, they're going to be delivered at the end, all right, when the kingdom of heaven be established. So it's all about predestination.
Second Ezra 15 and 1. Behold, speak thou in the ears of my people the words of prophecy, which I will put in thy mouth, saith the Lord.
Yep, so the Lord has given his men the understanding of the Bible, because pretty much the Bible has been readily accessible throughout the whole earth. All right, it's the most popular book in the whole entire earth, yet it's the most misunderstood book. But guess what? There's a certain group of men that actually have the true understanding of the Bible, and that's the Lord's prophets, all right? The elect.
And cause them to be written in paper, for they are faithful and true.
Yep.
Fear not the imaginations against thee, let not the incredulity of them trouble thee.
Yep, because the mass majority of the people, especially 2/3 of Israelites, so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, they have an inability to believe. Why? Because the Most High didn't sanctify them to be of the elect. All right, so they're gonna. Their job is to come up against the truth. All right, to scoff. All right, to fan their hand and pretty much be against the truth. All right, but the Most High said, "Fear none of them that don't believe." Because even if they don't believe,